Greetings, citizens of Nerdtropolis. Sean Taj here, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and my guest today is director Sean McNamara, whose brand new film Vindicta is now in theaters and on demand. Well, hey, Sean, it is great to chat with you today for many reasons. One being another Sean who spells their name the right way.
That's right.
And then also we're going to be talking about another Sean Astin, who is in your new film Vindicta, which is awesome. How was it to have Sean on set with you?
Oh my goodness. I mean, a hero growing up, everything from Rudy and all the movies that he did, but it was great having him on set. He's just a great collaborator, always had ideas, and he was wonderful to have on set, and he has a great part in the movie.
Yeah, you mentioned Rudy, and somehow that's actually my favorite Sean Astin film, and he has amazing films, but for some reason, Rudy just hits me in the heart really hard.
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up on that. So watching that movie as a young person of how, that's one of the first great sports movies of just watching a kid trying to do his best. And it was fantastic. He's just such a nice guy too. It's just such a small world. And he's a great guy.
Yes. All Seans are nice. We're all great guys.
That's right.
So what inspired you to take on this project and what drew you to the story?
Well, it's interesting. The Vindicta came to me as a script and I read it and it was great. But coming up with, have you seen the movie of it?
Yes.
Okay. So the thing that I wanted to do is come up with a Freddy or come up with somebody with a mask that what's going to be interesting. And I had a trip plan to go to Italy. And so I saw Michelangelo's David and I went, wow, wouldn't that be crazy if David's face was on the mask that this guy walking around causing chaos. And so somehow everybody figured out, yeah, we can do that. And so I just think hopefully if we could franchise this movie every Halloween that's coming up, people could wear that white porcelain David's mask and just be frightening. So that was the idea behind that. But that's what drew me to it, reading the script and going to see Michelangelo's David, smushing those together. And all these David things kept popping into my world. I was at a restaurant at North Italia, and the waiter had a David on his arm, and I was like, ooh, there's that. And then when I was there, I picked up a David statue and I was like, oh yeah, this would just be just this scary thing going on. So it was the combination of taking a menacing character, creating a persona for him, and just, then making it.
Yeah, I love seeing these types of films create their own, killer with a mask. They've all been different. This one was definitely really creepy. And so how does that translate? You see the David statue. And so how does the costume department really kind of transform it to a wearable mask that really actually is really creepy on screen?
It was just the idea of believe it or not, making a mask that somebody can walk around and see and do that is becomes very complicated. And also, I have 3 boys and my boys are always wearing hoodies and they're always they've got this look. So I see this much of their face, hey, Dad, all that stuff. And so I knew that I wanted it to have a hoodie on, and we went with that. And it was just going to be a hoodie. But when we got on the set, he just didn't look so powerful with just a hoodie on. So we got him a big black leather jacket to put over the hoodie. So the two together it was the costume designer and I, Josie, we'd look at him and we'd go, he's just not menacing enough. And how do we make him more menacing? So the combination with mask, hoodie, and jacket all of a sudden. Plus, I purposely tried to shoot him always through fire or smoke so that it was kind of intense.
Yeah, definitely an intense movie. A lot of wild kills. A lot of scenes I had to look away. I like horror, but I don't like horror. I get scared easily and grossed out, and I definitely got both of them in this one.
Did it work? Did you get scared? Because it comes out on Friday. I'm going, now we got to put it out to an audience.
Yeah, and I've been to Italy, and I don't think I'm going back to Italy if I'm going. I'm gonna be haunted when I go over there and see David again. I don't want to see that face again. It's really eerie. So how do you approach making something like this so fresh and unique, which it is?
Well, thank you. You have a script, you have actors. To me, it's an organic process. We bring people in. Elena Kampouris, she is the star. And I met her at a lunch a year before. And I remember saying to the producer going, that woman's going to be a star. And she's in My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 and 3. And she just came out and she's just terrific in it. And so it's just you start assembling people that can carry the movie. And that's how you pull it together.
Yeah, what a great cast too, which also features Jeremey Piven. So how was that like to have him in part of this movie? And him and Sean Astin are great together.
Well, Jeremey Piven was great. It's funny. I first came into him as an actor on Entourage, like Ari Gold. So like I'm seeing that. So I have him in my phone, and when he calls and I see his picture pop up, I'm always just, there's this moment of like being, a film director in Hollywood, like Ari's calling me. But he is the nicest, most talented guy. And I'm going to throw out a plug. He just did a movie called The Performance, which is going to come out next year. He is genius on it. He's going to win an Oscar for this thing. He is so good at it. But he's just a talented actor. And he was, playing against type, playing the good father. And, and then all of a sudden throughout the course of the film, we started to see what the good father actually is capable of doing. So it was a great match. So working with Jeremey was super fun, and what a talented actor. Just, I like to have a really nice organic space. I like to do a table read, get everybody together and have their ideas. And he is another one who just brought in great ideas onto the set. Yeah,
Jeremey and Sean, they put out a lot of stuff, but I feel like they slowed down a little bit. So Sean, if you can tell them, put out more stuff, because everyone loves Sean Astin and Jeremey Piven. I want to see more of their work, because I feels like it's been a while since I've been pushing out a lot more, but they're great to see. I love seeing them together, but they're awesome actors.
Absolutely. And if there's anything, like I said, go start reading up on The Performance. It's called The Performance, and his sister directed it and he stars on it. I know I'm plugging another movie, but it's that good. So I love when great actors get great roles, and he's obviously fantastic in this movie, but it's he's great in that too.
Yeah. So two great actors and a great cast for Vindicta coming out this weekend. And so, it's spooky season. It's almost Halloween. So what were the type of horror movies you grew up with?
Well, interestingly enough, like Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis, that's the one that like initially grabs me. And I grew up with like Carrie. The one that scares the living hell out of me is The Exorcist. I was like 12 when that came out. And if I'm at home going through the channels and The Exorcist happens to be on a channel, I have to grab the remote and just get it off, because it just sears my soul. For some reason, seeing it at that age, it definitely changed me. And I grew up like an Irish Catholic boy, and my mom would tell me tales in Ireland, how people were possessed and all that stuff. So it affects me on a whole deeper level when I watch films like that. So, but I would say Exorcist, Shining, Halloween, those are the ones that get me.
Yeah, I just rewatched The Exorcist. I'm getting ready for the new one. I'm gonna have nightmares. I know that for this whole month.
I can't watch the new one. I turn that now when I see the trailer for that coming off, and it was really interesting. I have 3 boys, and we were in a theater, and the trailer came up, and he on his own at 14 years old, he went like this with his head, and I like looked over, and we were both looking down, and we went. For some reason, those scary movies have just a whole different effect on us.
And that was me at 34 years old seeing that trailer too in the theater. And my girlfriend was with me for this movie we were watching, and that trailer came on, and she knows I get scared, and so she turned to me and said, "Boo." And then the poor girl that was next to her, probably 9 years old, got scared by my own girlfriend by just saying boo. And I said, see, you can't say boo when there's a scary trailer on. This is kind of, it's going to affect some people long term.
Yeah. Trailers are effective, but that one in particular is looking very scary.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And you've had a successful career in film and television. And I enjoyed last year's On a Wing and a Prayer. Yeah. And I got to talk to Mr. White himself and producer Roma Downey. It was a great time talking to them. And you're also, Dennis Quaid is part of that movie. He plays Mr. White. What's a great film, first of all. I mean, just thinking about it, what a wild story that was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've collaborated a lot with Dennis Quaid, and he is so good at the characters he brings to life. And that particular one was fun. It was just, him out on this airplane. And I mean, can you imagine you're on an airplane and the pilot dies? Like, what are you going to do? Like, we all think, could we take the wheel? But the reality is it was a miracle that he landed that plane. It's not something that's normal.
Right. And after that whole situation, they got back on another plane to travel. I mean, I'd be traumatized in that case.
Yeah. I mean, but Doug White is a character. He's just in real life. He is an amazing force to be reckoned with. So,
yeah, he is. And it's great to see Dennis Quaid in that role. And you're going to team up with him for a Regan biopic?
Yes, we've shot it, and we are right now we're finishing it, but with the actor strike, we weren't able to do the ADR, but that's going to get all fixed up as soon as and I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel with that. The writers settled last week, so I think in the next week or two, the actors will be back and we'll finish it up and it'll come out in 2024.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Anything you can tell us about his performance? I mean, because just thinking about Quaid in this role is going to be amazing.
He's genius. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He is a genius actor, and he just became Regan, and he studied all the speeches. In fact, we'd write in the script this much. He'd learn the whole speech, and we'd shoot the whole speech. And I would, like, in editing, I'm like cutting it down to what we had in the script, but that was his process to do that. But he sounds like him. He looks like him. And he and Penelope Ann Miller and John Voight all came together and just made an incredible movie.
Yeah, that's exciting, John Voight. And I got to talk to him earlier this year too, and he's just amazing. So I'm excited for that. That's gonna be a great cast for that Reagan biopic. And I'm a '90s kid, and you directed and produced some of my favorite movies and shows. Like no doubt. First of all, like you can see I'm wearing Nickelodeon and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. So The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Yes.
What a show that was. The technology to actually showcase like the liquid version of her, like that was ahead of its time. How are y'all creating that?
But I stole it from James Cameron. Larissa Oleynik turned into water, he's saying, in The Secret World of Alex Mack. And so in The Abyss that Cameron did, they had what's called the water weenie that would come out and look at people and look at them. And I don't know, I'm sure you've seen The Abyss, right? So I stole it from that. They're the ones who figured out the technology. And then I think we did the pilot for Secret World of Alex Mack in '93. And we figured out how to copy it at a much cheaper way of doing it for Nickelodeon. But it was fantastic. It was fun. And it was fun to have, that character could become water and levitate things. And it was a great ride. We love that.
What a show that was. And, I loved everything that was out there. Also, you did the Three Ninjas. One of the Three Ninjas movies, High Noon at Mega Mountain, which was amazing. I love things that take place at amusement parks. Like, I just love any type of movies, maybe horror or adventure, even like Beverly Hills Cop 3, people don't like. I love that it's a fact of the amusement park. So how is that when you do something like that?
Well, it was amazing. It was fun. But what was interesting is no amusement park across America was going to let us in because, wait, terrorists taking over an amusement park? We don't want to be a part of that. And so, we scoured the whole country to let us in. And we finally found in Denver, Colorado, Elitch Gardens was being sold. And while it was being sold, we got our month or two to go in there and shoot that movie. So, they gave us access to all the roller coasters, and Hulk Hogan's in there, fighting and saving the day. And Jim Varney I don't know if you remember him, but he is such a genius actor. He was Vern, but he was our main bad guy. And it was fun. And I loved, my idea was to have the roller coaster turn upside down and the people get stuck. They do it purposefully. And then to watch the news and see that that's actually happening. And Lonnie Anderson, she was in that too. She was the bad woman who stopped the roller coaster halfway through upside down.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened all the time. The roller coaster was always upside down every theme park you went to.
Right.
And another show, even Stevens was amazing. That was such an amazing and iconic show. So that was great too. So I want to thank you for that because I was obsessed. But I have to mention this. You did 2 Casper films, which were amazing. Can we bring back Casper? I feel like, with the Addams Family returning and other things, we need to get a Casper to return somehow.
So, Casper was incredible. It was amazing how that came to be because the original Casper movie was like a $60 million film. And we had far less of a budget to do that. But once they figured out the technology, bringing those characters to life were fantastic. And on the second one, Casper Meets Wendy, we found Hilary Duff, and she became Hilary Duff. She was just so watchable, so amazing to watch. It was incredible.
Yeah, I loved Casper Meets Wendy. And like I said, we need Casper to return somehow. So if you can talk to someone, if you want to do that, bring back Casper in any capacity. He's being neglected. It's the time of year. He needs to come back.
I agree with you. That's awesome.
But Sean, this was great catching up on this new movie, Vindicta, and my childhood. It's amazing. Looking forward to Regan next year as well. And anything else you want to give us? Looking forward to more movies from you.
Absolutely. Well, I'm finishing up a movie called Bao, Artist at War. I don't know if you saw Schindler's List, but there was a couple who got married at the Plaszow concentration camp. So we went and we told their story. It's a love story, and it's a hopeful, inspirational movie. So that'll be coming out next year from Paramount.
Excellent. I'm glad you're keeping busy. Keep doing that, and look forward to talking to you soon.
All right. Great talking to you, Sean. Take care.
Once again, this is Sean Taj, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and stay tuned for more movie news, reviews, interviews, and trailers.